we've spoken about it. I'm just newly starting getting into this creating content space. You've been doing it for years, like you just said, and this podcast and platform itself is built on pursuing your passions, whether it be sports, entertainment, passion for food. I've only really learned what it is to follow your passions right now, like in my late 20s. Can you speak on creating content around your passions, or when did you realize you had a passion for this? Well, you already said when you were a kid, but creating content around your passions.
I think there was a switch that happened sometime when I was in the Philippines.
Mm.
So a few things changed, right? So Philippines was like life changing in every way.
What
Like
year
when
was this?
so based this was 2011 when I moved down there. So what happened was I kept telling my bosses, I'm like, hey, listen, if there's an opportunity, like give me something big so I can prove like I'm happy dubbing these tapes. I'm happy doing a little content strategy. But if there's somewhere I can go and like prove that I can, let me go somewhere I can kind of grow up on my own. Like a
Yeah,
hero's journey, you go off in the jungle, you learn some shit, and then you come back.
yeah.
That's really what I was thinking about, right? So eventually an opportunity came up in the Philippines. Also, like too many bosses, I can't be creative. I'm like, send me somewhere away from the bosses. That was part of it as well.
Yeah.
So they're like, hey, we're expanding this Philippines office. Um, would you like to go and check it out? Go there for a few days. I'm like, let me think about it. They're like, yeah, sure. And then I went downstairs to the bar near the office, and they
Mhm.
already had my ticket in their hand. They're like, yeah, you're going on Monday. So I was like, what? So everybody knew except me that I was probably going to the Philippines.
What area was
Uh,
this? That the because a lot of them, our listeners, I'm Filipino, so most of the listeners
yeah,
are Filipinos. What area was it? What company?
yeah. So it was with Fox, so Fox Network Groups in the Philippines. So I was super excited about the Philippines. I was terrified, right? Because I
Yeah,
never visited there before. Now, what I was really excited about is I love anywhere that loves content because my passion is content, and people in the Philippines love content.
yeah,
I mean, it's arguable which countries in the world love it the most, but Philippines and content go together like that.
yeah,
So to go to a place where they love what I love is like a tremendous opportunity. So I was
yeah.
really excited. But then part of me is like, I never been there before. Like, what am I doing? I was like, let me just go. I asked for this. I'm gonna go. So I thought I'd be there for 2 months. I joined Fox. Their office was in like Makati at the time.
Makati, yeah.
It was an office of seven. It fit 12 people. There's an office of seven. Within, and I went there as a head of content. So I was deciding what kind of shows we buy, what we do with the content. So how do we just keep putting good stuff that people want to see on
Yeah.
TV,
Yep.
movies, series, Walking Dead, stuff like that. I bought the rights to WWE, which I still think was a
Ye-
great move. Yeah. So and it was a great team. Like I got to pick some of the people to join, and I was lucky that some of them were great. And yeah, we did some cool things together. Like I still got a lot of the viewership records in the Philippines, like of
Yeah.
like most watched shows and all that. But things really changed when I made my first show.
Mhm.
Like and that's where I kind of realized, okay, this is what I want to do. So I watched a lot of times when I make a show, I'll see something and I'll be like, it'd be cool to do that, or it'd be cool to work with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know how and I don't know when, but eventually I might. So we're having this event and these four people hosted it. Like it was like a ad agency event and we brought in celebrities to host it. And there's this one dude that kept making everybody laugh. So I was like, that dude seems really funny. Like these are not fake laughs. These are not awkward laughs. They seem like smart and funny and he's killing it. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
who is
Yeah.
this guy? And they're like, he's a university professor. I was like, university professor. So I Googled him. He's got like 3 million followers on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, who is this university professor who's hilarious? And I was like, I'm going to write his name down. And maybe one day something will come up. But I just wrote that name down. And then I got an email a few weeks later from National Geographic. And they're like, hey, we have this show. It's called Science of Stupid. I was like, it sounds great already. And they're like, we just show a lot of viral clips and then we show you the science behind them. So if somebody's like riding a pogo stick down some stairs and falls down, it's like the conservation of angular momentum versus the impact versus the coefficient of friction. So
Yeah.
there's science, but it's actually just a dude falling on his face. So
Yeah.
it's a funny show. I was like, maybe we can do that. They're like, we'll pay for it if you want to do it. You can do it in the Philippines. So you get your local host. We'll just send you everything. You fill in the blanks with your local host. I was like, I'll do it. I'll happily do it. Like, and they're like, the budget's pretty small. Like, whatever you got, send it my way. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Then I was walking home that day. I'm like, the professor. It's that professor. So like I called my producer. I was like, hey, listen, we're gonna make this show. I need to find a way to do it. Like we don't have much of a budget. First thing, find me a studio so I know we can actually do it. So she searched around. The only studio she could find me that we could afford was in Ateneo, the university.
Yep.
It was the Jesuit production facility. So they only do stuff for like the Pope, the Jesuits, and and the show I made. Because it's like nobody else shoots there. But I was like, they're in the budget. They're a good team. I'm gonna go there. So we found the Jesuit production facility. We did a casting call to like a few select people.
Yeah.
And we were like, let's cast the right person for this show. And everyone had a different picture in their mind. My producer was like, let's cast Derek Ramsey. Let's cast the most famous person. Whoever we can afford that's the most famous, let's get him.
Yeah.
Right. My marketing head was like, this dude's very marketable. This other guy, he's got a high IQ. Let's use him. My boss was like, use my friend. And the head of the network was like, use this guy who's like, you know, Kuya Kim? The guy who's always wearing so use Kuya Kim. It's not Gio, you got to use Kuya Kim. Then I was like getting stressed out. I'm like, man, everyone wants different things and none of them sound funny to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, what do I do? So I said, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have a casting day. I'm gonna invite all of them in, including the guy I want. We'll test them all on a camera. Whoever is best will get the show.
Yeah.
But I had one more KPI, like one more deciding factor. I said, no matter who it is, this is meant to be a comedy show. They need to be able to sit down with me and write every episode because I can't write a joke for somebody else.
Yeah.
They need to write it for themselves with me. So we had the audition day. They all came in. This guy, Ramon Bautista, came in, the university professor.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, and I looked at some of his stuff. He's like a really funny dude. He's made a lot of viral videos that are really hilarious stuff. So I knew he was going to kill it. He came in and killed even harder than I imagined. And I knew he had it when I told him just improvise. You know, like give me some tags. Like watch this show on National Geographic. He's like, what's it called again? I'm like, Science is Stupid. Then he just turns the camera on. He's like, hello, stupid Filipinos. He just killed me. Like, so he just killed it in the moment. And I was like, this is the guy. And then we started writing the show the next week. I cast him. And the second we started writing, I knew this is what I want to do. This is my passion. Like, I like writing funny stuff. I like working with people to make it. I like the stress. And I like that at the end of the day, people are going to watch this. And hopefully they're going to like it. And they're going to want to make something like this.
Yeah.
So that's when things changed for me, when I made my first show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the name of that show?
Science of Stupid. It's the most watched show in the history of National Geographic in the Philippines. It used to beat The Walking Dead. And it's something we shot in the Jesuit facility in Ateneo. So it was just really making that show changed everything for me. Just knowing that I could make a show. I could make it my way.
Yep.
I could do whatever we thought was kind of funny and putting it out and seeing people reacted to it. Then I was like, this is addictive. This is like what I want to do. We could make it weird. We put in things that we thought were funny.
Yeah.
And like that's how it went. And it was great. So yeah, that kind of changed everything for me.
Would you say that's your most memorable piece of work so far, or your greatest piece of work so far?
I'm very egotistical, so it's hard for me to pick. There's a lot of stuff, but yeah, I'd say like this. Some cool things I did. You know, Joey and Angie Meet King in the Philippines, this transgender married couple. Mm-hmm. So they kind of announced they were transgender and they were staying married. So Angie came out as a trans woman. Yeah. This was in 2016, before everything became really woke. So it was really like kind of ahead of its time. Yeah. So I got them to do something with TLC where they told their story when it was really not cool to do that in Asia. So that's something I'm proud of. The higher profile stuff is not what I'm proud of. It's usually like, we made something about a chicken beauty pageant in Indonesia. These girls came up with an idea and they said, we're going to pitch you a show. And they said, it's called Chicken Beauty Pageant. I said, sold. You don't need to tell me anymore. A great show is one where the name tells you everything you need to know. And then they pitched me an idea. It was great. I gave them the money. They went and did it with my producers and everything. That was really nice as well. So different things for different reasons. My favorite thing I've done is my white whale. Like I shot enough footage to make a movie, as you know, and I haven't finished it. That's the most fun because it's the biggest, scariest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
And so that's probably the one I'm proudest of because it terrifies me the most and I haven't done it yet.
Yeah. You're not finished with that yet. I was gonna.
No, but I'm editing it now.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I know that we've been talking about that movie for years, like since we first met. How's everything going with that movie?
I finally figured out what it's about. Because you can write a story, but you don't know what it's really about. You know what I mean? I was like, what is the emotional? I always knew that I wanted to make a movie, but I knew I'd have to live some life to say something interesting. So
Yeah.
I had a plot that was kind of funny. It's like a dark comedy, but it wasn't really about anything. So kind of end of last year, I went through a bit of heartbreak, and that told me what part of the story was about. I'm like, okay, this makes sense with my plot.
Mhm.
And then the second part of it is actually about me, as
Yeah.
in how I haven't finished this project. So it's about, so I needed those two real emotions to be there. Now I have those two emotions. I've rewritten it. I'm editing it now. Hopefully
Yep.
be out this year. I'll send you an early release of it.
Yeah, well, you got to let us know so that we can post it up on everything so everyone can come check it
Nah,
out.
I'd love that. But yeah, I mean, talking about not giving up, like I shot this thing 5 years ago. A lot of people ask me, like, didn't you shoot this movie?
Like
Where is
5 years
it?
ago. Yeah.
Year after year after year. And the longer the time went, the more embarrassing it got. But now enough time has passed where if I finish it, it'll be cool.
Yeah.
You know, like he didn't give up after 5 years.
Didn't you,
So yeah,
didn't
that
you,
project.
didn't you tell
Yeah,
me that there was someone that is kind of well known in that movie?
there's a lot of people. I mean, so like the cast of the movie is amazing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: when I made this movie, I wanted to make something that nobody else would make and nobody would pay for.
Yeah.
Because I could get funding to make something. I just want to make something weird. To me, the coolest thing you can make is something weird and something funny. That's the gold standard. If you gave me money to make like Avatar 4, I'd be like, give me like 1,000th of the budget, maybe 1/10,000. Just give me like 100 grand, leave me alone. That's what I want to do. I want to make weird, funny things. So to me, that's creativity. So so to me, I got the best cast in the world. I got Ramon Bautista in it. The from Science is Stupid.
Yeah.
I've got Russell Peters in it as a cameo.
Wow.
I've got Yayo Aguilar as like a teen star. I got my favorite Filipino director, Peke Gayaga, is in it.
Yep.
My friend Scor Caneras is in it. Lord De Vera is in it. Jun Sabaiton, who ran for president in the Philippines. I got DJ Tony. I got like a bunch of. I knew I was leaving the Philippines by the time I started shooting it, so I kind of made it like a farewell exercise. Let me do something with everyone I love, and that's what I did. So I shot scenes with everybody I love. It's very DIY. We brought our own equipment, borrowed lights.
Yeah.
There was one scene we used car lights to light because we didn't have lights. So it's very like DIY, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like my farewell to the Philippines, putting that together.
Looking forward to seeing that. I've been hounding you. Every time I talk to you, I've been like, "Where's this movie? I want to see it. I want to show Chelsea."
Everyone who cares about me has been hounding me because they know that they know the reason it's not finished has nothing to do with the movie itself.
Yeah, that's true.
I just kind of like I built it up in my head as something big, and then I kind of got and I did this thing where I just work. I started taking everything I like and making it work.
Yeah.
Like even the stuff I do for fun, like at jujitsu, I take notes, I study it, I try and get a result when I train, and it's also meant to be fun. And so what happens is when you start turning side projects and passion projects into fun, you take the fun out of it, and then it makes it harder to move on it.
Yeah.
So what I've had to do and work on the last few months is like reframe all of this as fun. And now that I see it as fun, I'm ready to finish it. Like I know what it's about and I'm having fun. I'm going to finish it as opposed to before
For sure.
terrifying myself